We have those which were damaged are 9, but we have about 15 ballot boxes in our custody. Some they were not managed but could not be used because they had not been sealed. So we cannot bring them here to be counted because somebody else could have tampered and inserted in other materials. That's why I was saying immediately that act happened, the election could not continue because the exercise has been interrupted and so many things could have happened in the process. I don't want to rule out that maybe somebody would have stuffed some papers in the ballot boxes in the melee because the officers who are manning that area had to run for their safety. So I don't think those boxes will be valid to be declared good for election, unless maybe that center could have another election. IEBC will decide on that. It's true, we tried to get him last evening, but we didn't get him. But I strongly believe this is Kenya. He's not going anywhere. He will soon reserve us. Either he brings himself or we go for him. We are ready to run with him whatever distance he wants to go. We can run that distance, we are very ready. The aspirant is being assisted by his own brothers. So at some point you might think the police are malicious because going for 3 members of a family would not be good. But we will not stop at that because when you commit a crime, we don't have borders for a crime or any relative thing about a crime. And it is very sad to me because honestly, when an elder brother is leading his 2 younger brothers to such an heinous act, honestly, and this is a person who wants to become a leader, what kind of leader do we think we can make out of that person? I'm sorry, that is my part. Don't take that from a policeman's mouth. Take it from me as a person. And I'm very honest on that. I don't expect anybody else to elect a leader who would lead his own brothers to do such heinous acts, to be very serious. So if that is taken out of proportion, let it come to me as a person, not as a police officer.
My name is Thomas Ngetich, returning officer, Khwisero constituency, Kakamega County. I think to comment on what you have asked yesterday at around at the end of the polling and beginning of counting, that was around 5 p.m. We received some distress calls from our officials at the Shibinga Primary School. And they actually were asking for security. They said that they had been attacked, that their materials had been destroyed, that some of their personal belongings had been actually destroyed, their phones, and that they had generally been assaulted by people that had targeted that particular polling station with the purpose of disrupting the process of election. And when we received that information, we quickly relayed it to the police, and they swung into action and rushed to the polling center, where they found that most of our officials had fled to a nearby secondary school, basically to hide from being harmed. So, as we continued, the police went there. They managed to rescue the officials. They, as they arrived at the polling station, they still found the group of goons that was still there. They are not dispersed in any way, and they were brazenly challenging the police, which basically led to the police using some force to disperse them. And they later on managed to rescue the officials and also to gather some of the election materials that had been destroyed. Most of the materials that were destroyed were ballot boxes and ballot papers. They basically broke most of the ballot boxes. They actually destroyed the materials that was there, the ballot papers and so on. So that was done by the police. The police also managed to rescue and bring to the tallying center the officials alongside the materials that they were using, which they had found had been destroyed at the polling station. I think as far as we can see now, as we looked at all the materials that we had. Most of it, or actually all of it, was actually contaminated to the extent that we cannot use it for checking the results. And I believe that very soon the Commission will make a decision on the way forward about that particular polling station. If I am to give you some information, is that at that point, Stream 1 had actually registered 72.2% turnout. Stream 2 had also registered 67% turnout, and Stream 3 had also registered 64% turnout. These are stations that have 479 registered voters each.